What is up, everybody? James back here again today on a rainy, mopey Thursday. It looks mopey and rainy out. It's pretty nice, actually. I dig it. How you doing, Ground Dog? Always first, always last in the chat. How are we doing today? So I know last on Tuesday I said that I'd be going and starting to paint some of the Cursed City. He is done. Pancham is done. He is very much so. I need to fix this brightness. He is done. However, I want to get a base for him. So I have two options here. And we're going to paint that up today. And that's what I got going on right now, because I'm not prepared. The Cursed City, I'm not prepared yet. I need to, that's better. I need to get the models built and primed, and due to the rain today, it's best to prime outside, obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah, you know, that's what I think so too. So this gives him a lot more room. This is much smaller. He does fit on it well. They are different though. So this is what they look like up close. This one's a little simpler. This one's got a lot more stuff going on. I was trying to find one of these in this size, but I couldn't find the same style. I can only find these. So that's a little frustrating when you know you have it. I know I have it. It's somewhere. But it's hiding from me. So we got a 50 mil base and a 50 by 100 mil, I think. Yeah, 50 by 100 mil. Or 50 by 90. About. Yeah, it's really stupid. I can't find it. But we'll work with what we have, and it doesn't have to be permanent. I can always reuse these for my own nefarious reasons. So that's not a problem. But yeah, so we can paint them both up today. I'll show you different techniques on how to do these. These are made by Games Workshop. You can get these through Third Universe if you wanted to. Of course, you know, this stream is brought to you by Third Universe, which is right there, Croton-on-Hudson, New York, where you can get all of your nerdy needs done dirt cheap. So, if you want to pick up any type of Warhammer or board games or anything really that, oh, here's one. Found one. Yeah, so really the choice is between these two. These two right here. And I think I want to go with this, but I need to prime this. So, that's what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is I'm going to work on this guy while we're waiting for this prime on this one. I knew I had it. It's just less busy. I don't want it to take away from the aesthetic. The Pokemon aesthetic is much more simple, but I think this will look much better instead of the other one. The other one's way too busy. All right, so I'm gonna give me a right back, okay? Do we have a right back in here? Sanctus Reach. Be right back. long time. I'm sorry. So what I did is I ran out. I sprayed it. So there he is. He's on the Games Workshop Citadel paint sprayer helper. This thing is actually good. I actually like it. I will say this is one of the products I do recommend that if you're doing a lot of war game painting or painting in general, this is a good piece of equipment to get. The reason being is you get rubber bands that go around these little loop-de-loops, and you can put a whole bunch of models just on this using rubber bands, depending on what size base they have. Depends on how big the space you need for rubber bands are. So this thing, absolutely worth it. So I'm gonna have this drying. This is gonna sit here and dry. Put it right there. And just to give you an idea of what we're gonna do over here on this guy, because this is essentially the same thing. I'm gonna paint it to the same type of standard. So we're gonna be using a few different things. We're going to be using Citadel Dry Storm Fang. So dry paint, Citadel Dry, they're different. They're very different from your typical... oh, there's Guinness, by the way. Guinness! Guinness! Hey, come here. Come on, Guinness. Look, not there. Here, come here. Hey. Oh, Guinness just wants out. Guinness thinks it's dinner time. It ain't dinner time yet. You had a couple treats. So a dry paint, this, you look at it, it's gloppy and goopy. That's how it's supposed to be. This stuff is actually, it's a time saver. It works really well. And the way it works is it goes on your brush, and then you take your paper towel and you get most of it off your brush until you get very little on it. Now all of the paint that you put on your brush, Guinness had several. Don't encourage him. You get the paint's still in the brush, in the bristles. So when you apply it to the surface that you want to dry brush, oh, the other dogs are home. That's why. The sister dogs are home. When you apply it to the surface you want, it comes off. This is a relatively flat surface, so it's not really the best. But this is the color I want this to be. And we're going to be doing this with almost entirely with washes. A couple blackout base colors and then washes. And dry brushes. So the way that they designed this paint is it goes on and it looks very bright when it first goes on, but as it dries it becomes more faint. So it's really good for subtle highlights and getting good highlights on a model that has a lot of raised edges. It's a simple shortcut method to getting painting done. So we're going to go with off colors from Pancham. Pancham was in the red family, very hot, warm colors, and we're going to go with blues and greens on this, soft, cool colors, and work some browns into it, a little bit of light, dark browns rather, not light browns, rusts just to tie it together. The rust will help tie everything together. So when you do something like this, you have to pay attention to colors. Colors can make or break a, wearing my Schnauzer shirt, my 1970 style Schnauzer shirt, can make or break a model. Have you ever seen a color wheel? A color wheel demonstrates how colors on the wheel, like red is here, blue is here. They're across from each other. They contrast highly. They're complementary colors. They look good together. Colors that are adjacent this way don't look good together. I should probably have that pulled up. I should have it permanently displayed on my monitor. So this is going to let some of this light gray blue come through, or darker, I should say, gray blue come through underneath this, which is exactly what we want. We want to have a lot of layers and effects going on. And dry brushing allows you to do that. Pretty much all we need for that color. Brush it clean. So that's how the dries work. I do recommend these. They really work very well. They have multiple applications. You can use them for stippling. And what that means is you take the paintbrush and you get paint on it, this paint, and you would just dab like that, and it puts splotches. I've seen people use that to good effect. I don't typically use it a lot, just not my thing. Alright, so on this here, we're going to paint the grading metallic. We're using a lead belcher, which is a dark silver, gunmetal gray, really. There's Guinness hiding in the background. Got his ears all perked up, ready to go. Give it a good shake. Alright, this is a base color, so Games Workshop base colors, they have very good coverage. This brush is any good. Take some of this, put it on our palette. We're going to take our now dry brush laden we're going to move that. We're going to get a new one. Always keep paper towels handy. So, I was watching another person's painting tutorial, and they recommended for your wet palette to use parchment paper, which I'm trying right now, and it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's different from the regular paper that the parchment or the wet palette comes with. So, oh, and the other benefit is this goes on and it's dry almost instantly. Like, you can smudge it if it's very, very wet, but this is that's one of the benefits of dry brushing, is that it is dry nearly instantly after you paint it on, which helps a lot. Well, I'm not really feeling this music right now. So we're gonna go to chill. Everybody chill. So we're going to do big brush strokes on the areas that we're painting all silver. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, the other dogs are outside the room getting their dinner, and Guinness is on high alert. So right now we're pretty much just blocking colors out. And this vase is going to be relatively simple. We're going to get a lot of our color variation through washes and texturing, using other specialty paints that they make. I do have a little bit of a formula for painting these scenic bases that I've been using on most of my miniatures that have these, so I'm going to be using that style of painting on this. This piece right here, let's do that, not this color. Let's throw a little bit of brass. Warplock bronze. This is a very dark brown metallic gold. This specific one I have formulated with enough thinner to run through an airbrush. It works pretty well, but you have to thin this down a lot. Very pigment and metallic flake heavy, so you gotta thin it down a lot. See, look how dark, metallic brown. It's a really good color, actually. Very rich. I'm going to paint that on over here. And we're going to bring this up to a like brown, not gold, like an orange bronze color. Just to get some color difference on this. So that'll help tie the rest of this together with his gold that he has on himself. It's just a little splash highlight color. That's all. You can do that. Okay. That's that. We're doing over here. It's pretty dry enough to paint. We're going to be doing the same thing on this one we're doing on this one. This skull, the skull right there, that's going to be our bronze highlight color though. So first thing we're going to do, hit up our areas that are going to be metallic. It's going to take longer to dry. We'll be able to get some good rust effects on these rivets and dirty up the in-betweens. Might not even paint those silver. Might go back in and change that color with a couple extra layers of wash. You know, whatever you got to make yourself feel better. I like getting around the lip on the outside. All right. It's not going to have a really amazing Pokemon feel to it, but it will look cool. This Pokemon's grim dark now. You know, the grim dark, it's style. There are different styles of writing and themes that you can use. Warhammer chose the grim dark. You have Bright Hope, Modern Day, several other ones. I don't know all of them. sure there's an author out there that probably knows more than I do about writing. Grimdark is just what it says. People die. People that might not want to, you might not want them to die in the story, but it's not going to save them from the author or the world. Things don't always work out the way that they want them to and you want them to. That kind of stuff bothers a lot of people. Some people really can't handle the grimdark style. That's okay. It's not for everybody. Alright. So he's going to go in here. It's going to look good, I think. I hope. Close that up. Back to our Stormfang Gray Dry Brush. One of the big important parts about if you're using a dry brush, a dry or dry brush technique, is your brush itself. You're going to clean it off in between different paint colors. You have to get all the moisture out of the brush itself. If you don't, you're not going to have a good time. I am really whited out. Properties. Let me fix this. Figure video control. That's much better. Yeah, that's much better. Now you can actually see my shirt and my face. My face! Sorry, I showed you my face. We're gonna go back to using this mess of a paper towel over here. I do have wet paint on this face, so I'm just gotta be a little careful. I gotta wait for that to dry. It's not dry enough. So we wait. Painting sometimes is a waiting game. So this color right here, I'm going to work this. This is called Niflic Oxide. This is a super pale blue-green. This doesn't show you the right color. Hey, welcome back. We're waiting on our small base to dry. While we wait on that, I'm going to work on the big one again using technical paint. Games Workshop's technical paints are top-notch. See, this doesn't give you, there's significant more green hue to this. Let me see if I can get that to come up. Camera is not... Maybe? There we go. Yeah, the white balance is way off. That change the saturation a little bit. Yeah, this color is much more green than blue. And I'm not seeing a way to adjust it. The color's wrong. It's probably the lights I'm using. The camera's affected by the lights, obviously. This color is much more blue, green than this. It looks like it's a verdigris color. Verdigris is the patina, the outer oxidation layer of copper, and it looks really good just on everything. So what I like to do with this color is I'll go paint this over essentially the whole base. It's not going to shine through as much because we're going to do other layers of paint on this. So that's okay. And then we just go with our paper towel. Wipe off excess. You can get a whole bunch of different effects with this, with doing washes like this. My finger works better than the paper towel. So that's going to work into the recesses and just change the color a little bit. Now on the silver, this is going to look really good on the silver. I'm actually okay if the entire underside in between the girders gets that color. So I'd like that not to be silver, but I didn't paint it that way because I am weird. Stop being so weird. Everybody excited for Sonia's stream tonight? She's doing her Pokemon Wednesday or Thursday stream, I think, right? She comes on and does Pokemon at 6? Or is it Smash? I don't remember. She's got a lot more fans than I do. Everybody loves Sonia. So these, this particular paint, the technical, it's very watery as is. So when you paint it on, you don't need to water this down. You can to get different effects. It'll typically, it'll only be in recesses if you water it down. But I'm not going for only recesses on this. I want to tint the surfaces that I'm putting this on. And it will definitely do that. This will dry, and the outer side of it, it'll pull itself in. Give it a little assistance, it'll do even more. And just on this. That paint's got to dry. Hey, look, I'm even using Games Workshop Citadel Miniatures medium shade brush. This is actually probably the best brush that Games Workshop sells, and the only one I would honestly recommend to buy. They will recommend a lot of things. Not recommend Games Workshop brushes other than that brush right there. See, that looks a little more green there than it does. Oh, why? Yeah, it's got to be the camera. The camera's not letting it shine through. Dry brush on this. Super light blue onto super darker blue. So Ground Dog, how you been this week? You're still in class, I assume, right? The semester restarted recently. Class is going good. Get along with your professors. Or you got a bunch of mean professors that don't want to get along with you. I've had that. That's not fun. When a teacher doesn't want to be friendly just because. I can't be friends with everybody. You can try, but probably won't work. the other things that you can do, if we're doing what I'm doing, is I'm going to be doing a bunch of washes on this. So we can lay down other colors. I can even use that stippling thing I talked about. Stippling. So stippling, you take your brush, you get a little bit of paint on it. I'm using a lighter, light gray, celestial gray base color. Really like this color too. You get most of the paint off of that. And this is kind of like dry brushing, except instead of dry brushing across, we're just going to stab. Now I'll just give some texture. It leaves all those angular brush strokes on it. Really tiny like. So like that. It gives it a little more texture to the base. So when we apply washes onto this, you'll be able to see different layers and textures come out and up through the washes. That's going to turn out pretty good, I think. Remember, everything's an experiment. We can figure out what we're doing the whole way along. Things don't always work out perfectly, but you learn from your mistakes, you move on to the next one. The next try, not the next mistake. So recently, a friend of mine, he's my age, so a little bit older than most people. We're old. He's got 2 sons. They're great kids, really good kids. I love them. And the kids are around, 10, 11 years old in that area. I don't see them that often, but I know them. I know them well enough to know that they're not jerks. And they had an incident at the park where a parent of one of the other kids, the children got into a altercation, as 10-year-olds do. And the parent of the other child became very upset, extremely upset that this happened, even though, according to sources, they reconciled. The kids themselves reconciled, which, again, kids can do that. Get into a fight with somebody and then, move along with it and continue playing on the playground. That's what we did as kids. And the mother wouldn't let it go. And it just turned into this big deal. And it's really unfortunate. And the thing that bothers me more about it than anything is how much it's upsetting my friend. Not even his kids. His kids are upset, but, he is more upset because his son's upset. And that kind of love is so immense. And it's just sad that, why can't we all just get along? Alright, so that's something that's happening with me right now. It's not really me, but... Alright, so what I have here, I have Nuln Oil, Magic Sauce. This stuff is probably the best paint Games Workshop makes. This is half water, half Nuln Oil. I did that for a reason, because when you water it down, it gets even less potent, and it'll darken areas, but it'll only give it a shading. It won't change a lot of the color. So I can load this up super heavy on here like this. Super heavy. And it'll look all... I'm off camera. It'll look all changed and altered. But when this dries very light. And you're going to be able to tell that something was done, but you're not going to know exactly what was done. With the half. I Did take some experimenting to find out how much, but I found about half works really well. That just changes the whole look of it. Alright, now I'm gonna snoop around a little bit for my bronze tones. Brass. Bronze. Brass and bronze. Game color. Bright bronze and bright brass. Go ahead and use let's close this up so I don't knock it over. The bright brass first, and then bronze afterwards. Smaller brush, going with a number 2 round. Come on now. There we go, number 2 round. Aqua Elite for watercolors. I don't use it for watercolors. I was on surfing through Twitch's art category, and I did stumble onto a nice lady who was painting this absolutely breathtaking demon succubus creature. And it looked absolutely fantastic. And I was like, what do you use, acrylics, oils? And she's like, no, I'm using watercolors. I'm like, what? Why? You can get really good blends of watercolors. They're really hard to master, like most things. If you ever heard of Bob Ross, you've seen people work with oils. Oils tend to blend together really well. They layer really well. They have a very slow dry time, so you can manipulate them. Acrylics, dry time's not nearly as good as oils. It's much faster. Typically you can't blend them as nicely as you can with oils because of the speediness of the dry. Different brush methods and cleaning methods are the biggest difference. If you're working with oils, you have to use a thinner. You have to use a alcohol-based thinner in order to clean your brushes and your palettes and any other accoutrement that you're using. Because oil paints are not water soluble. Acrylic paints are water soluble. It looks kind of cool, I think. We got this out. Go hit my little skull. Hold on. Starting to get a little small. I can't see. Work on this here skull. A lot of waiting for paint to dry in this episode. Sorry about that. Next, by Tuesday, I definitely will be ready to paint the Curse City stuff. I'll have everything built, primed, ready to go. This looks about the same-ish. It's just more green. This is very blue flushed. Same with down here. It's very blue flushed. The color is just not right on the camera. At least on my monitor. Also, it could be, if you have your monitor set up differently, you're gonna have different pictures. So that's also something to think about. So my monitor's set up however my monitor's set up, and that's what I'm using as a base, as a reference. Where'd I put it? Here it is. Hiding my own stuff from me. Back to the Null and Oil. The small base. this on here. Maybe even do some hash marks on this. I should probably do those before I finish up with any more washing. Hazard stripes, hash marks, caution stripes. That could look really cool on this part. But we're coming on to an hour today, so we're getting near the end. We started a little late, but things happen. I was a little busy before I came on stream. Had to get myself all cleaned up. Alright, we're gonna let that sit. So this is gonna sit, dry off a little bit. Get these colors to solidify. And we will come back on Tuesday. I hope y'all learned a little bit today. Hope y'all had some fun watching us paint. Next time we will finish up. Oh, I'll finish these up probably before Tuesday. I'll get everything built up for when we come back to paint the Cursed City. We'll get that done. Ground Dog, you have a great night. Anyone else who's on stream, you also have a great night.